So, welcome to sound. I've just realised that I've spent the entire vlog talking to you and didn't have any sound at all. So my name's Kieran, I'm a landscape photographer, and I'd come out to the west coast of Scotland at the moment, and I have been on a sketchy little trail where, as you'll see from these few clips that I'm showing you right now, I could have quite easily fallen in some water. But eventually I managed to find myself a composition by coming back across the lake to where I originally was, and I'm hoping that this scene is going to be quite nice. What I'm using is a polarizer to cut the glare off that water, and you'll see from this little clip just here how that looks and how effective the polarizer is. Without that polarizer, I'm not going to be able to see that. But what I need to do now is I need to get my battery changed in this, and I need to get out there with a tripod because that light on that mountain is fading fast. So I know from that experiment that I did before that a higher tripod is probably going to be better for this shot. But I don't want it to be too high because I don't want to have to elongate the shot too much. Now I wish I'd known about this spot before when the lilies were still in bloom. That would have been really special. So I think I've got the shot all set up now. I'm going to shoot this shot by shooting multiple exposures, capturing each individual element so that I can blend it together and create that final shot. I'm going to focus on the lilies in the foreground. I might as well. I'm taking a shot just for them. ISO 64, f11. I've put my polarizer on as much as I physically can. It isn't darkening off too much. It should be doing more, but for some reason it's not really cutting too much of a glare out. But it's working. So if you look at this shot just here, you can see the shape of the mountain coming through the water in towards that lens. And you're going to see it even more in this shot. This shot, I've darkened it off even more to make sure nothing is blown out. Then I'm going to focus on the mountain and make it about that, because at the end of the day, that is my focal point. But what I really like about this composition is the way I've got the trees and the mountains on either side almost framing my shot, framing my composition. I've got just a little bit of light left on top of the mountain and it just looks absolutely incredible. Then finally, one shot just for that sky. Getting nice and dark. Let's see what happens when I put a bit of polarization on there. I think that brings it out quite nicely. Makes them blues richer. And there we are. That's all the different elements for this shot. I'd like it if the lilies had been in bloom, but you can't have it all. But I think I noticed a shot further over here on the rocks. Same focal point, but a little bit different. Let's go and have a little look, shall we? So this is what I noticed before. These beautiful lines and textures in the rock. And there's some really nice colours on there. There is one problem though. This is where the swarm of midges is. Of course it is. But I think this, by adding a bit of colour, bit of texture, bit of contrast, leading into that mountain that you saw before, might make quite a nice image. Maybe. Might make quite a nice image. So I think I'm going to get set up, get my camera as close as I physically can, and see what we can create. I'm thinking focus stack. Well, my idea is I've got it balanced on this leg here. This leg is up against the rock, pinching it and holding it in place, and this is just counterbalancing. So let's see if I can do this without disturbing my camera too much. I've got this beautiful crack leading your eye through into the scene, these swirls in the rock. Let's see if I can focus through them There we are. So focus, stack, focus, 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 and then to shoot that mountain at the background. It would be really nice if there was more drama in the sky. There's a nice bit of colour, but I'd like more drama. But again, you can't have it all. But what I can have is this shot. So I'm going to crack on and get it got. So I've got it set up. So I'm capturing that first bit of rock right in the immediate foreground. And that's that. And then I'm just going to go through the scene, just like I said before, making sure I capture everything nice and sharp. Building that scene, building that image. It's unfortunate the light's starting to drop off the back of the hill now. And the midges are getting me. But I did put myself right in the middle of their lair, just where they're being. The nice thing I like about this little scene though, is the same thing as what I had before, where I've got the trees on one side, the mountain on the other, and it's acting like a frame for that mountain in the middle. I've got a lovely bit of cloud just above that mountain, and yeah, it's just quite a nice little scene really. And fingers crossed, it looks as good as these midges. Well, as good as I hope, considering I'm battling with these midges. And I think tonight is going to end up being just a 2-image evening, which is a shame really, because I like to get free, as you already know. With the climb out that I've got to do, I think staying for 3 images is going to be pushing my luck. So I'm going to capture the colour on top of the mountain, then I'm going to raise that exposure slightly so I've got the detail in the shadows, and then I'm going to drop that exposure quite savagely so that I've got a nice colourful sky. And that's it, a beautiful image. I'm going to wait around for a little bit, see if anything else comes to mind. There's only one way to find out, eh? So I'm making my way back now. I did manage to capture one more image, but it was of the sky changing. It was the same composition, but it was of a slightly different sky, which can make all of the difference. So I should have the light from the earlier shot and then the colour from that later shot. And I'm going to blend them together to create the final image. Now all I need to do is make my way along this crag above the water. So I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Goodbye. Have a lovely week. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Send me some love. If not, I'm sorry. But yeah, peace out, peeps.